Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the podcast. Today, I wanted to talk to you about 2021. Now, this is going to be a bit of a free-flowing conversation with myself because I wanted to use this opportunity at my Instagram's audience's request to actually do a reflection video or a reflection podcast episode. So, I hope you had a fantastic Christmas, because by the time this is out, Christmas will have happened. But yeah, so 2021 was for the company, but also for me, a year where I really had to change my relationship with the concept of me doing everything. And I think that's the main thing we're going to start on here, is the fact that I, through 2021 specifically, but at the start, it's kind of started in 2020, I really started outsourcing the majority or quite a good amount of the stuff we do here at Brunton Media for the Brunton Media content specifically. And I want to talk a little bit about the reasons about why I did that and how I want to go about that and why I went about that in the first place. And also then what role that the team has actually played this year specifically. And, I'll leave their links so you can see some of their other work and etc. as well, because they all are freelancers and they all are available in that respect. So, but I really appreciate you taking the time, and I really appreciate. I think it's really powerful and really important to use this time to reflect. So let's jump in and let's talk about that. So for me, the main things that I've really taken from 2021, specifically that are slightly different to 2020, is 2020 was this categorically changing environment all the time, and 2021 has been similar, but in the respect to overall what has happened and overall where has the world actually gone, we saw in 2021, bar maybe towards a little bit towards the end, but also again at the beginning, it was this concept of this brief moment of normality that came back. And what really came from that was me seeing the reality and seeing the vision that I had for the company grow, and really get to the point where a lot of the team and a lot of a lot of the work we're doing, a lot of the client work we've ended up doing this year has been really, really impactful for them, but also for me it was important to establish that a lot of it was... I found it very difficult to, especially about midway through the year, be in a position where I was happy to give over a lot of control. Because, and I think this is a common issue with a lot of people, especially when they're starting to scale their company, they're starting to grow a team, they're starting to really branch out what they're looking to do and how they're looking to do it. And, there's a lot of benefits, and it would be wrong of me to sit here and say there's not a level of stress that comes with having a team and having other responsibilities, of course, but the main thing which I think someone who would be listening to this, who is looking to take on a team or is looking to potentially grow into taking on a team, whether that's freelance or through employment, the concept is that you firstly are semi responsible, and also definitely responsible, especially if they're employees and the level of responsibility that holds, but also you need to be aware that you need to be okay with the different levels of control, and you need to be able to support your people and your team on being able for them to support you in the jobs that you're outsourcing to them, right? So I'll give you an example. At the start of the year, I had continued, but we really, really lent into it a lot more. I really started leveraging the team ethos that we had and the team culture that we had and the culture I was trying to build. But as those of you who may not have followed the podcast until basically all the time, all of the year, Sam and Will have been editing the podcast, and they will continue to do so at the moment. And that for me has been quite a significant learning curve as well, because it's this kind of it's a very good from a time efficiency point of view, but it does provide a level of cost to the business, which I didn't necessarily expect. And there's a lot of reasons about why you should do that and how you should do that, and I've talked about it in other content, but I'll briefly go over it here. And it's about the concept of understanding what your best suited role is going to be for your business. So in our case, for example, what I find is what I'm very good at doing is hopefully articulating to people what I need them to do and how I need them to do it, and hopefully they are able to appreciate that and understand that and get it to a similar level, or even arguably a better level than if I could do it. But what it does open up is the opportunity to allow you as a business owner to really think and really reflect on, where is your business gone? How is your business gone? Where do you want the business to go? And it's this concept of, are you working on the business or are you working in the business? And for a long time, I was working too much in the business and not on the business. And I think that my best role, to be honest, is looking at growth, looking at how do we move forward, how do I encourage or support the team members that we have, and how do we help them understand this is not just a job. I know I've mentioned it before, but it's a creative process. It's something that we're trying to build together for a greater purpose than just a paycheck, right? Like a lot of people, I think, is especially when they employ someone, they don't necessarily appreciate that. Firstly, those team members, those people who are helping you in your business, they're never going to be in a position where they care as much to as you do as your business, right? Because it's your business, it's your baby, it's the thing you've grown from nothing. And it's this concept, especially that I have at Brunton Media, which was understanding that firstly, and also then secondly understanding that if there's a problem or there's an issue, then you should take accountability for that. And I've been very fortunate because I've been getting back into audiobooks. I've been listening to audiobooks. I've been trying to educate myself as a leader for the goodness of Brunton Media, the goodness of the people around me, the people who I talk to and I interact with on a semi-regular basis. And, one of the books I did consume was Gary Vaynerchuk's new book, and he talks a lot about emotional. That book is all about emotional health and emotional understanding, and being able to be transparent and accountable and patient with what you are doing as a leader. And I think it's a very important point to be made is, you should be accountable and you should be appreciative of it whenever you go into any work scenario, whether it's signing off on a video or signing off on a blog or etc. That you should be really appreciative whether you are paying someone or aren't, or etc. Because in some respects, and what I would always recommend people when they do try and they do take on people, is that you ask them to sort of show what they can do, and it's this concept of adding value first. And it's something which we do with clients, but it's also something that I've done for a very, very long time, and it's something that I think stands us apart as a marketing agency or a video production company, that we really specialize in, putting our clients or our customers at the center of what we do. And for me, 2021 was also a time where I got the wonderful opportunity to be able to explore firstly my personal values. So thank you to Jules for that, but also a couple of months after that, I also was able to explore my corporate values that were as we discussed, very similar. And I know I've done other content with Daniel as well, who did our more corporate brand values. But, I think that process is really important when you're building a culture, because if you don't understand what your necessary values are, how can you push in a direction? And what's going to fire you up? What's really going to get you to a position where you showcase and you understand and you feel like it's great for you and it's going to be really valuable for you to showcase or, articulate what you're trying to do to your wider team. And I think, especially as the team has grown, and by no means has it gone plain sailing, so to speak, because it definitely hasn't. And there always will be issues, and there has been issues. But that's something that I think if someone's listening to this who is taking on or looking to take on a team, is really, really important, is to understand that it's actually you should take accountability for that, and it should be you who is patient enough with the team and is patient enough to be able to take that time. But that's not a free pass for anyone on the team or not on the team to be really, I guess, lazy or in that respect. And that's not what I'm trying to say here, but what I'm trying to articulate is basically the overall of understanding you need to have is it's actually a collaborative effort. It's not, I'm hiring you to do a job, you need to do a job. If you can't help facilitate their training and their understanding and what you need, what you personally need, and what quality you feel you need from the content, then how can you expect them to guess, right? Like, a lot of people are not mind readers, etc. And I think it's about, and something that I've really focused on this year is understanding and giving my team, but also my clients, an opportunity and checking in, and not having an assumption around, our retainer clients, for example, not having an assumption that they're always going to necessarily want to continue with us, and is there things that we can do to help serve them better overall? And I think it's really, really important. And of course, I'm very, very grateful. And talking about emotional health here and talking about emotional intelligence, for me, I'm really, really grateful to have the work that we've had this year, because for a lot of businesses, 2021 started in April. It didn't start in January. But in reality, for us, for wrongly or rightly, we were lucky enough to be able to continue serving our clients, and we were able to help them continue to articulate their message throughout the first lockdown. And at the time of filming, we will see what happens in the new year. But it's been interesting, because if you had told me a year ago that I would not be quote unquote worried, concerned about a lockdown, then I would be like, well, isn't that a bit naive? But the reason why I'm not as worried or not as concerned is because, well, firstly, I've got through 3 or 4 before, so it's not like we can't, and it's not like that. But also, in my opinion, and I don't want this to become a political backwards and forwards on like what's the right thing to do and etc. That there's more people who are more qualified talking about that online, but I think it is an important point to make, which is that you can't control whether we lock down or not. I can't control whether we do or not. And I think it's important, because what I can control is what my actions are, right? So what can I do if we lock down? Okay, I can still, in theory, as far as I'm aware, and as long as the legislation is similar to what it was previous lockdowns, I'll still be able to do video production with certain measures in place. I'll still be able to network on virtual events. I'll still be able to create content. We'll still be able to redistribute or recreate content that we've already got, because one of the main benefits of what we've done this year is we've created so much unique content, and something which some of the guys internally know, but also something that I'm going to be starting to talk content wise about. And this is, I'll be very honest, this is something which I have got from, or got, so to speak, or listened from Gary Vaynerchuk, whose content I've been consuming quite a lot regularly. But the reason why is because I like what he's doing, and I'm trying to learn from his mistakes before, so I don't have to make them. And a lot of what he talks about is repurposing a lot of the content which you are creating. So in our case, we have a podcast that we redistribute. We are going to be looking to put the podcast on audio platforms as well, to increase our visibility on that side of things as well. Also, we've been doing the blogs this year, which has been great. So they've been bulking up the website a lot more. And then also, of course, we've got the business related videos or the strategy related videos, followed by then also the vlogs that take our clients on that behind the scenes kind of atmosphere, and takes our clients into the eyes of what hiring us for a day really looks like and sounds like and feels like. And I think for me, it's really important for people who are potentially looking at how much content we're creating and how we're looking at it, to really see, okay, well, what daily stuff or what stuff can I do just using my phone? Because of course we're in a very privileged position where I have the skill set, the equipment, and the understanding of how to do it on a quote unquote more professional level. That doesn't change the fact that every person that may be listening to this, or in general, has the opportunity to be able to create it on their phone, right? Like, phones are getting really, really valuable, and I think it's about understanding, firstly, what it's going to be valuable to your audience, but also just starting that process of creating content. Because once you get confidence around it, and once you start getting to the point where you understand what you're saying or what you're doing or how you're doing it, then you can really be in a position where you do appreciate and you do understand, and you are going to be able to then benefit and learn from growing as a content creator, and being able to establish that in your marketing and establish that in your business moving forward into 2022. And I sit here in the later parts of December in 2021 asking myself, where did 2021 go? And it's one of these things where, as I said earlier, I'm very, very grateful for where the company is. I'm very, very grateful to how we've grown. But there is factors which I've looked at and I've gone, okay, well, what could have we done better in that situation? I think that's really important to establish. Yes, you've done well. Yes, you've done this. But there's also businesses that haven't done as fortunate for whatever reason. But also to focus on, it's not you versus them. It's me versus me, and I think that's really important. Something that I've really worked on this year is my own emotional relationship with other businesses or quote unquote competitors, and seeing kind of where that is and where that goes, and sort of, to really understand that, to, again, I hate quoting Gary so much, but the world is abundant, so to speak, in the respect to that concept. And something which I've really found from him, but also from others, has been that, I need to focus on building myself constantly, to be a better leader, but also to be better at what we do. Because if I'm going to achieve what I want to achieve, which is, I'll put it on record now, I'll put it on record again, I haven't hidden it, which is, whether I'll achieve it or not is a different conversation, but I want to be, and I want to show the process of how to create the biggest media company in the world, or one of the biggest. And, I believe wholeheartedly that we're going to be able to do that. And as long as my priorities stay that way, and as long as that's what I end up doing, but we're going to continue to move forward in that respect for as long as I want to do it. And, what does that come with? It comes, as I've said in other content, comes with premises, comes with, staff, comes with more people, comes with more equipment, comes with more, more opportunities to support our potential clients, and people who we help, and and we see how to showcase what they do and how they do it. And the thing is that I found as well is there's a lot of sales psychology that goes into it, and it's about being overly confident and working with your client to come to a resolution that can work for both of you, especially if it's a newer relationship, or a rekindled relationship, that you may have had or may have not had. Specifically, like, we've had a couple of returning clients, especially at the back end of this year, which has been fantastic. We've also had, of course, some clients that have stayed with us for the whole year and have continued, and are hopefully looking forward to seeing what we can do with them in the new year as well. And I think it's about, and everything that comes back, because everyone asks me, oh, where do you get your work from? Where do you get your work from, etc. And it's about, firstly, relationship building, but also understanding about you're the expert in your field, and understanding that it's okay if someone else is an expert as well, because it's up to the client at the end of the day. Who they hire is up to them. It's nothing to do with you. It's none of your business. It's nothing actually to do with you. All you have to look at is how you can be productive, how you can be valuable, how you can showcase what you do, and how you could help them moving forward. And I think it's something that is a really important point, and something that I didn't really believe for a long time, because it removes that kind of like, ooh, there's another video person in the room when you're networking, for example. How do I deal with that? And I had this, this morning, actually, because I did some networking this morning, and that was fantastic. And it's about, filling that energy and filling that time with positivity and gratitude, and not this kind of like, I need to outplay or outsell or outpitch or out this, out that other person. Because at the end of the day, you can both win, because there's more than enough work to actually go around, and there's more than enough work to showcase other businesses, even in an economy which is getting harder. And we've seen that across the last 2020, but also into 2021, and I'm sure into 2022. And the overall point there is that you need to focus on you need to focus on what you're doing, you need to focus and give the energy on what are you trying to build, what relationship are you trying to build, what are you trying to do, how are you trying to do it. And I think it's really important to firstly understand where you are in that process, but also then secondly to understand that, the analogy I'll use here is, I don't hold grudges, or I don't wish anyone bad, because that's energy I'm to be honest with you, I'm not going to spend on my competition. And the reason why is because I'm not pushing my company forward, or I'm not showcasing what I'm doing, if I'm putting that energy out into the world. And it's important to establish that you need to just focus on your own world, and you need to be, if you really want to do what I'm looking to do, or you're really looking to really grow a company, or you're really looking to get out your 9 to 5, you need to be utterly obsessed with what you're doing. And again, another thing which I've really homed in on this year has been understanding that it's not, as I say, not you versus me, it's me versus me. But the principle there is because I specifically have the amount of time I have and the amount of responsibilities I have, and then someone else will have very different responsibilities. They might have a family, they might have a partner, they might have other commitments which I don't. So it's not fair to compare our two businesses, because of course my growth's got to be higher because I can give more hours, I can give more time, energy, resources to growing the business. And something which I found as well is understanding what your risk factor is and understanding what you're comfortable with in respect to your overall psychology when it comes to spending money and what you're investing in, and how you're investing in it. Because I've heavily invested in my team this year. I've heavily invested within the company this year. And to be honest, if you had shown me the amount of money and shown our internal figures to me at the end of 2020, I would have been like, how is that possible? Because we have done well, and it's great to as I said before, I'm very grateful to have done well. But the point of why is because of the investments I've been making, and consistent investments that I've been making, because it keeps me sharp. It keeps me to the point where, I need to go and quote unquote hunt, or need to go and find more work, or find opportunities to put myself in a potential sales opportunity so we can then serve more clients and we can help more people. And I think it's one of those things where you combine really powerful marketing techniques, but also with networking and relationship building, it really helps you articulate and really helps you actually just grow your business. And I think it's very important to establish that. And I think it's very important to be in a position where you are comfortable in what you're doing, and or you believe, if you don't know wholeheartedly, that you will be fine. And that you're going to be fine, whether there's a lockdown, whether there's not, whether, it's looking as if there's not a lot of work going, or etc., or there's not a lot happening in the respect to your space, because it's really down to your own actions. What are you putting your energy and time into? How, if you don't have work to do for clients, what content are you going to create for yourself that then you can use as a case study to showcase that, and what passive meetings or conversations can you have to really help showcase what you're doing. And something I think we'll do more and more and more of, especially as I grow the team more come 2022, is going to be showing more of my day to day, trying to get to a position where I can show more and more of what actually running this company is like, helping people understand that it's not as glamorous as you might believe or might understand. It is hard work, and running any business is hard work, and having that compassion and that empathy and that understanding for other business owners who are going to pay you and trust you and believe in what you're doing, but they're also spending their hard-earned cash with you as well. So it's important to establish that. And I think it's something which, once you kind of reframe how you think, and once you reframe how you go about showcasing it or articulating what you're doing and how you're doing it, it can honestly really help you have a lot of gratitude and understand. The concept that I've really got from listening to Gary again has been, that you need to understand that your perspective in the world, because a lot of it is around, a large percentage of the world doesn't have clean drinking water. A lot of the large percentage of the world doesn't necessarily, if you're earning a very significant income and you can run your own company and you can do this and you're surviving, and you can buy a $4 coffee, or you can buy a coffee and it's not really a concern for you, you're already winning. You're in the top 10% of the world, 10-15% of the world, because a lot of people don't have those. A lot of people are below the poverty line. A lot of people are in the position where they don't have running water. I'm very fortunate that I was brought up with the ability to be able to choose for myself. I was very fortunate to be able to be brought up in a world where in a part of the world where I actually have a lot of opportunity. I actually have this, and of course there's other issues and other concerns. The political scene at the moment isn't ideal, for what's happening. COVID's a problem, the economy's looking not ideal, etc., things like that. But as I said before, these are things that are not out of my control, but what is in my control is completely and utterly understanding what is it that I'm doing, how am I doing it, and how am I utilising the time and energy I have every day to push what I want to do and move in the direction I want to do. And, I think it's something that you need to look at if you're not looking at it as well. You need to move quick, you need to make fast decisions, you need to, move forward and just get things done. But also you need to be patient with the results that then come from doing that, and you need to be consistent with those results, because overall it will work as long as you're doing something consistently, and as long as you do that. And if you're not, then pivot and change. Look to see what you can do better. Look to see how you can do it better and understand that. But, because I don't want to talk your ears off, but I think it was really important for me to showcase and sort of talk a little bit about why and how we've grown the company and what I've really focused on doing this year specifically. So, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for the support that you have given in any way. And if you're new and this is the first bit of content you are seeing and you've sat listening to me for 25 minutes, I really, really appreciate you taking the time and the energy to listen to this. And I hope you did take some value from it. I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. And I'll be back very, very soon with some brand new kind of content. And I've got a load of new plans for New Year that I can't wait to articulate and showcase and talk about a lot more. So thank you ever so much for coming back and joining me once again, and I will see you very, very soon for some brand new content. And as I say, I'd love to hear how your 2021 went, and what your plans are for 2022 down in the comment section down below. And thank you ever so much once again, and I'll see you very, very soon.